Welcome to the Focus on First webinar for Boston Public School teachers who are newly adopting the Focus on First curriculum for next year. The webinar has been pre-recorded and will run for about 15 minutes. We will be live answering questions until 6:30 tonight using the Padlet. To access the Padlet, you should have a link that Unicia emailed to you. Please take a moment to open it so as questions come up for you, you can pause the video and type them. You will notice that there are subject headings that are similar to the headings in the webinar. If there is a question that you have that does not have a heading, please write it under Other. Please press play when you are ready to continue. If you have a question you want answered during the presentation, you will click the plus sign to ask a question within that heading. If you have further questions after tonight, the Padlet will be open for you to ask questions until Friday, June 15th. In today's agenda, our goal is to answer the following questions. How is Focus on First designed? Where can I find the curriculum? What are the Focus on First components? What can I do now to be ready to teach Focus on First? What can I do this summer to be ready to teach Focus on First? What can I expect next? We will help you become more familiar with Focus on First during the August Teacher Summer Institute, but for those of you who want to have a first look at the curriculum on your own, we'll show you how to find the curriculum on the Early Childhood Focus on First website and give you a big picture of the components and the activities. Let's start by answering the first question. How is Focus on First designed? Focus on First is a content-based literacy curriculum. Children are learning the literacy skills they need to become successful readers as they develop content knowledge and build vocabulary. You will be teaching children learning to read and reading to learn, or in other words, decoding skills and meaning-making skills. To accomplish that, the curriculum is divided into 6 units of study, which are 5 weeks long each, and a launch, which is 2 weeks long. The overarching theme of study is Our Changing Global Worlds. Units begin with the immediate experience of children and move to places further away from their surroundings and daily life. This challenges them to think beyond the familiar. And be ready, they'll have a lot to say. The unit titles are Launch, Learning Around the World. Unit 1, Families, Communities, and Connection. Unit 2, Goods and Services. Unit 3, Animal Distinctions and Adaptations. Unit 4, Understanding Weather. Unit 5, Technologies, Inventions, and Inventors. And Unit 6, Maps and Mapping. You will find this page in each unit's overview. Every unit ends with a culminating project in week 5 in which children apply what they learned through the unit. The second question is, where do I find the curriculum? You can log on to the Focus on First website that is listed at the top of the page. Bookmark the page so you have easy access to it throughout the year. You will need to be logged on to your BPS email address to have full access to all of the links. If you would like to do that now, please pause this video and log on to the website. When you're done, press play to continue the webinar. During the summer, you can begin to read the complete curriculum on the website. For those of you who like to see the arc of the work that your students will engage in, this will be very helpful. When you click that link, you will find the documents you are looking for. As you explore the links and documents, you'll find, for example, the full directory link. When you click on the full directory link, the tabs are organized the way that they appear in the teacher edition you will receive in August. Each of the weeks and studios appear in a different tab. The link also contains a teacher-created resources folder with differentiated materials that can be beneficial to all students, not only SEI students, so take a look. Let's consider this question next. What are the Focus on First components? This page is called the Week at a Glance. You will find it in the Unit's Overview tab. There will be a Week at a Glance page for each week in the unit. Let's take a look at it to identify the Focus on First components. The Foundations component addresses first grade phonics needs. Foundations is a phonics program that you will need to receive training in to get the materials to be able to teach it in the fall. Those training dates are in August. If you have not received information about the trainings yet, please contact your principal. The next component listed is Learning Stations. There are 4 learning stations: listening and speaking, reading, word work, and content writing. During stations, children practice independently or with a peer the learning that takes place in the other components of the day. Next in the row, we see vocabulary and language. This is the component where you will introduce key content vocabulary words. There are 10 words every 2 weeks to allow time for use of the words in meaningful situations as children read, listen to, talk, and write about the unit's content. Reading to learn is another key component. There are 2 texts each week. Each text is read twice. There's a specific routine called the 4-step start to support comprehension before reading. There is a daily comprehension focus, and there are questions during and after reading. The questions fall within the 4 areas of the depth of knowledge wheel. In addition, there is a weekly read aloud that aligns with the content of the week. You will identify the time to read it over the week according to your schedule. The last component in the row is integrated writing. As the words say, children will write about the content they are learning through a variety of genres. For more information about each of the components, you can go to the Introductory Documents folder on the website. Since the curriculum is a content-based curriculum, this overview page contains the knowledge goals for the week. All the components are aligned to these goals. Weeks 1 through 4 follow the same structure. Week 5 is slightly different because children will work on a culminating project. Another useful page for quick reference is this one, the week's stations at a glance. Here, you'll see a brief description of the activities for each station for each week. Because the phonics and phonemic awareness component is now Foundations, the word workstation will match that learning. This page is the day at a glance. This will be the first page you see before getting the detailed lessons for the day. The left-hand side column indicates the length of time for the lesson, the middle column lists the learning activity, and the right column lists the materials that you'll need to teach each lesson. Having your materials well organized is key to the success of the component. Another useful page is Studios at a Glance. You can have a picture of studios for the entire unit. As you may have noticed, the knowledge goals are clearly presented here again because studios align with the unit's goals. Studios offer students the opportunity to continue their learning through a variety of media. The studios are art, building, dramatization, library and listening, writing and drawing, and science and discovery. During weeks 1 through 3 of each unit, you introduce the studios gradually and allow time for enough work to various groups of children. Weeks 4 through 5 prepare, support, or complement the unit's culminating project. When someone walks into your classroom, it should be clear which unit of study that you and the children are working on. You will need spaces for small group work and short-term storage of works in progress. Consider that the room should be flexible to respond to what's happening unit to unit. When thinking about the use of wall space, keep in mind that for Focus on First, you will need room for a word wall, unit vocabulary words with images accessible to children, a workboard, a concept map children will contribute to on a weekly basis, and room for children's work. Remember that for math, you will need to post a number line, a 120 chart, a math word wall, and room to display student work. You're probably wondering what you can do this summer to prepare for the fall. Have a look at the Focus on First website to familiarize yourself with the content of each unit. As you look at each unit, refer to the resource page that will be sent in the coming weeks to contact different places that you may want to take your class for an excursion. Collect beautiful stuff that your students could use during studios to create wonderful pieces of work. Start thinking of people in your family or neighborhood who may have things they may not want anymore, including buttons, ribbons, cardboard rolls, old wrapping paper, etc. Start planning your classroom setup by sketching how you will arrange it when you get into your classroom next year. You will be receiving many different materials that will need a space in your room, plus the works in progress that your students will need space for. Take a moment to read this slide. If you have any questions regarding this slide, add them to the Padlet.